Good evening and welcome to X Stadium on the campus of Wichita State University in Wichita, Kansas, where tonight NBC on YouTube is excited to bring you action from day number 2 of the 86th NBC World Series powered by Evergy. Hello, everybody. My name is Steve Strain with you on a gorgeous night for baseball in south central Kansas. Temperatures in the very low 80s right now, hardly any wind at all, which is rare for Wichita, especially this time of year, but you couldn't ask for a much better night for baseball as we are ready to roll in night number 2 of the National Baseball Congress World Series. One game already in the books today, and it was out in Hutchinson, and what a wild one it was. The Kansas City All-Stars have just knocked off the Houston MVP prospects by the score of 11-10. That game went to extra innings as Kansas City got the victory, and they are in the winners bracket now. They're in the losers bracket heading on to round number 2, and they will be in action again tomorrow against either Hattiesburg, who lost last night, or they will take on the winner of another game played today between Santa Barbara and the Denver Cougars. But we're almost ready for baseball here tonight for our 6 o'clock game between Cheney and Colorado's Cyclones. Let's run down the starting lineups for you. And Colorado is the visiting team. Let's go with their starting lineup first. And it'll be Kaylor Werner leading off. He'll be in center field and followed by second baseman Jake Hayes. Ryan Sullivan had the big go-ahead, game-winning RBI base hit last night in the 10th inning as this Colorado team knocked off Hattiesburg. Sullivan bats third. He's in left field. He'll be followed by first baseman Jason Jamian. Andrew Broutman bats fifth. He's at third base. Wyatt Featherston hits sixth. He's in right field. Blake Maddie is the designated hitter for Colorado. He'll hit seventh. Trey Vasquez bats eighth. He's at shortstop. And batting ninth, Keegan Villalpando behind the plate. Again, the lineup for Colorado: Werner, Hayes, Sullivan, Jamian, Broutman, Featherston, Maddie, Vasquez, and Villalpando. And pitching tonight for the Colorado Cyclones will be Walter Pennington. Pennington, out of the Colorado School of Mines, will get the start, but we won't see him until the bottom of the first inning. Cheney has their right-handed starter out on the hill now, and that is Trevin Reynolds. Reynolds also pitching collegiately in the state of Colorado, where he wrapped up his career earlier this calendar year at Colorado Mesa State, which is out in the western part of the state. And Reynolds is from Las Vegas, Nevada, and he is now done pitching collegiately after a season this year where he went 3-0. So nice numbers there in 27 2/3 innings. He also had a shutout along the way in 5 appearances, all of them starts. Boy, what a promising season he had until, of course, it was cut short, as everybody's was in college baseball because of COVID-19. And you would think that that would add added emphasis on this World Series for a lot of these seniors who will no longer play college baseball anymore, many of them, because of the season being cut short. And so you'd get to thinking that they might want to make the most of this opportunity they have, and that's the situation for Reynolds here tonight as he goes through some of his final warm-up tosses for the Cheney Diamond Dogs, who have been so successful under their coach, Pat Hahn, a very well-respected baseball name in the Wichita area, and he is the head coach, the owner, and very much everything about this Cheney baseball team. All right, so here we go. Kaylor Werner steps in, the center fielder for Colorado. As we're about set, Colorado will get a 5-4 winner over the Hattiesburg Black Sox last night. That game was played in Hutchinson. It went 10 before Colorado came up with the victory. So here we go. First pitch is in at 6:02 Central Time. It misses just outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes to the right-handed hitting Kaylor Werner. Game time temperature 80 degrees with a wind out of the south at just 10 miles an hour. That would be out to left field, but not much breeze at all as the second pitch is fouled back to the netting, and the count is 1 ball and 1 strike. Werner, the starting center fielder for Colorado's Cyclones, ready for the third offering, and it is just a bit high. 2 balls and a strike. Colorado is in black jerseys, and so is Cheney, so it could get a little confusing when players are rubbed up together tonight. Both teams also wearing white pants as Warner bounces this one through up the middle for a leadoff base hit. So Kaylor Warner on at first base to get things started for Colorado here in the top of the first inning. The Cyclones are in black jerseys trimmed in orange. Orange letters, orange numbers on the fronts and backs of the jersey with their white pants. Cheney is in black jerseys with purple and white lettering and white pants and purple and white caps. So again, a lot of black out there. Showing bunt is Jake Hayes, and he ends up missing, and it's called a strike, 0-1. So no balls and a strike to the left-handed hitting second baseman, trying to play some small ball for his Colorado team here in the early going with a runner at first, nobody out, top of the first of a scoreless game. Working from the stretch will be Trevin Reynolds, and this one misses. 1 ball and 1 strike. So if you want to look at major league jerseys, I would say you could look at the Colorado Rockies black alternate jersey and the Baltimore Orioles black alternate jersey. That would be the closest comparison to the colors of these two teams. As a throw over to first and barely back was Warner. A really good move by Trevin Reynolds over to first base, and he nearly picked off Warner. Warner inches away again with a count, 1 ball and 1 strike. Hayes this time bounces one over to the left side, fielded on a couple of bounces over there by the third baseman Jackson Glenn, who makes a throw to first in time for a 5-3 putout. What a nice play by Glenn. On a bouncing ball, he had to go to his left and went down to the ground and then got up. His only play was to first, but he made a good throw in time for a 5-3 putout, 1 away. This is an all-artificial surface field at X Stadium, by the way, in case you didn't know. Everything you see out there on the field, if you're watching a game here, is artificial surface, including the pitcher's mound. Here's Ryan Sullivan. And Sullivan takes at 93 miles an hour, but it just missed on the outside. 1 ball and no strikes. 330 down the lines here at X Stadium. 375 feet to the power alleys, 390 feet to straightaway center field in this gorgeous ballpark, the home of the Wichita State Shockers. The 1-0 swung on and missed, and that'll even things up at 1 ball and 1 strike. Runner at second, 1 out, top of the first inning. In a scoreless game, Colorado trying to move to 2-0 in this NBC World Series. Cheney drew a bye, so they did not play yesterday. This is their first game. Reynolds looks back at second, then delivers an off-speed pitch that misses away. The breaking ball missing makes it 2 balls and a strike to the right-handed hitting Ryan Sullivan. He picked up the game-winning base hit last night in the bottom of the 10th inning that scored the go-ahead run. The game-winning RBI, giving Colorado the 5-4 victory. Changeup on the outer edge. Looked similar to the location of the previous pitch that was called a ball, but according to the home plate umpire, Josh Shepis, that one caught the outside edge, and the count's now level at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Shadow is about halfway between home plate and the pitcher's mound, so that will benefit the pitchers as the sun prepares to set behind third base off to the west. The 2-2 is bounced foul over toward the first base dugout, and the count holds 2 balls and 2 strikes. The first base dugout occupied by Colorado, Cheney calling the third base dugout their home tonight. And that would be fitting because Cheney is just about, 20 miles down the road to the west of Wichita. They definitely have more home fans here tonight as a breaking ball swung on and missed, and Sullivan down. A good slider that time by Reynolds for out number 2. Boy, he really had Sullivan fooled that time. That one started on the outside part of the plate, then tailed down and away from the right-handed hitter, and Sullivan had no chance, and he would like to have that one back. Frustrated with himself, you could tell, as he slowly walked back to the dugout. So a runner at second now, 2 away, and here's Jason Ajamian. And he takes a changeup that's right across for a strike, 0-1. So we have seen Trevin Reynolds hit above 90 miles an hour and then sometimes float some changeups in that are about 20 miles per hour slower. That's what we saw there, 0-1 to the right-handed hitting Ajamian. And the second pitch, that one also off speed but misses just a part of the outside of the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Runner at second, 2 outs, scoreless, top of the first. Colorado's Cyclones up there against the Cheney Diamond Dogs. 1-1 through the stretch goes Reynolds, and the pitch sliced foul right side. And that one lands in the bleachers. Lineup change for Cheney. I might have mentioned that Ed Scott was playing in left field. That is actually Tristan Kennard. Tristan Kennard is in left field for Cheney. That's a late change that the Diamond Dogs made earlier today. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and the pitch swung on and missed. Boy, Jamie and fooled on that one as well. It says 97 on the radar in center field, and Jamian checked his swing, but that one was some heat right across. So a leadoff base hit for Colorado causes them to strand a runner at second. They go 1-2-3 after that. After half an inning, Colorado nothing. Cheney coming up at the 86th NBC World Series powered by Evergy. Welcome back to Wichita. Scoreless game as we go to the bottom of the first inning. Kyler Castile will get things started for the Cheney Diamond Dogs. He's in right field, followed by Corrigan Bartlett in center field. Jackson Glenn bats third. He's at third base. Davis Sims hits cleanup tonight for Cheney. He's at first base. He'll be followed by second baseman George Specht. Lenny Ashby batting sixth. He is the designated hitter as Kyler Castillo steps in, takes a ball. 1 ball and no strikes from Walter Pennington. Caleb Farner bats seventh. He's behind the plate. Tristan Kennard hits eighth. He's in left field. Andrew Stewart bats ninth. He's at shortstop. Now 2 balls and no strikes. The count to right-handed hitting Kyler Castillo as Walter Pennington delivers a strike at 88 miles an hour on the inner part of the plate. 2 balls and a strike to the right-handed hitting Kyler Castillo. Scoreless game, bottom of the first. And this one right at the letters on the inside part. Castillo frustrated. He did not like that Josh Shepis call. Thought it was a little tight, maybe high, or maybe a little bit of both. Nonetheless, the count's 2-2. Pennington works very fast as Castillo bounce one deep in the hole at second base. Jake Hayes has to back up on it, and he fields and throws to first in time for a 4-3 putout, 1 away. Well, that's one of the benefits of this artificial surface field here at X Stadium is you can sit back quite a ways and let those good firm bounces come to you pretty deep in the hole and still allow you plenty of time to throw to first because the ball gets to you quicker anyway. And you'll see a lot of infielders, in fact we saw this in the top of the first inning, bounce throws over to first, and you can also get away with that because of the AstroTurf bounce. You don't lose much velocity on the ball coming to first base when an infielder bounces one over there to the bag, and sometimes you'll see that as well. Corrigan Bartlett steps in, takes a ball from Pennington. 1 ball and no strikes. And the 1-0. Breaking ball misses down low. 2 balls and no strikes. Walter Pennington pitched collegiately at the Colorado School of Mines. All 4 years of his career were pitched there, wrapping up earlier this year. And he delivers another one that misses to Bartlett, the right-handed hitting center fielder for Cheney. Is ahead in the count here, 3 balls and no strikes. 24-10, Pennington's record at the School of Mines this or for his career, excuse me, as he delivers a 3-0 strike. It's 3-1. This year he went 3-2, but his earned run average really ballooned up to 6.75. Here's the 3-1. Inside edge, a strike, 3-2. But in his defense, don't forget, it was a shortened season. He only pitched in 26 2/3, so not much of a sample size, or at least not as much as he would have liked, or anybody, with the season being cut short. There's a swing and a miss, strike 3. What a job by Pennington. He fell behind in the count 3-0 and delivered 3 straight strikes to register the strikeout, and there are 2 away here in the bottom of the first inning. And that'll bring up Jackson Glenn. Walter Pennington started his career in 2017 at the School of Mines and went 5-2 with a 3.86 earned run average. First pitch to Jackson Glenn. He's first pitch swing and rips one into left center field. That's down. That'll be a base hit. So a 2-out single for Cheney, and that'll bring up the the cleanup hitter, Davis Sims. Runner at first, 2 outs, bottom of the first of a scoreless game. Walter Pennington's best season by far at the Colorado School of Mines was in 2019, his junior year, when he won 10 games. He started in 14 games and won 10 of them, only lost 3. He had a 3.51 earned run average as Davis Sims chops one over to third. Andrew Brotman plays the high bounce, then a throw to first in time, and a 5-3 putout ends the inning. A 2-out single for Cheney, and that's it in the first. After 1, scoreless. This is the 86th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy. Andrew Brotman to start the second inning for the Colorado Cyclones in a scoreless game. Colorado Cyclones and the Diamond Dawgs of Cheney on a beautiful Tuesday night of baseball here in Wichita. And Trevin Reynolds' first offering to Brotman is in there for a strike. No balls and a strike to Brotman. A leadoff single for Colorado to start the game, in fact, but that was all they could muster. Brotman takes a strike, and he's quickly behind in the count to Trevin Reynolds. No balls and 2 strikes. Now, Brotman, the right-handed hitter, steps out, puts a little moisture in the batting gloves, rubs his hands together. Now he's got the wooden stick back in his hand from the right side of the plate, takes down and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Trevin Reynolds, like his counterpart Walter Pennington, pitched all 4 seasons of his career at the same place, Mesa State in Colorado. It's fairly rare that you'll see players that spend all 4 seasons at the same place anymore at this World Series, but our 2 starting pitchers have done just that. As Brotman goes down swinging, good pitch that time by Reynolds to get the K. That's his 3rd in a row. Don't forget, Reynolds started off the game giving up a single, then he got a bounce out to third. Since then, strikeout, strikeout, strikeout. Here's Wyatt Featherston now, trying to end that string for Colorado as he takes a changeup high for a ball at 73 miles an hour. 1 ball and no strikes. Now a slider at 72 is in there. And Trevin Reynolds is just dealing now. 1 ball and 1 strike to count here. Both pitchers work very quickly. This has the makings of what could be a very quick ball game tonight. Of course, I may have just jinxed us, but so far, very quick pace for both of these. Pitch misses to Featherston, 2 balls and a strike. And Reynolds is set again, and the 2-1 slider swung on, and he barely got a piece of it, did Featherston. And the count's 2-2. Wyatt Featherston, an RBI last night. In the 7th inning, he grounded out to short, but he brought home Jake Hayes, who was at third base. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and there's 4 strikeouts in a row now for Trevin Reynolds, as he has really gotten into a groove now. And that's not uncommon for him even this year. Understand Reynolds this season did not pitch but in 27 2/3 innings, but he struck out 38. As the first pitch to Blake Matty is ripped up the middle, that'll be a base hit. So a leadoff single for Colorado in the first inning. They could get nothing out of it. Here, a 2-out single by Blake Matty right up the middle. And the designated hitter is on at first base for Colorado. And that'll bring up shortstop Trey Vasquez. Runner at first, 2 away in a scoreless game. Top of the 2nd inning. And back to the stretch goes Trevin Reynolds. Right-hander peers over his shoulder, delivers, and the pitch swung on high, bouncing ball out towards second, fielded there by Specht. He'll have to get rid of it in a hurry. He does, and throws to first just in the nick of time for a 4-3 putout. Well done by Specht out at second. A 2-out single for Colorado. That's it in the second after 1.5. No score at the 86th NBC World Series powered by Evergy. George Specht to start the bottom of the 2nd inning for the Cheney Diamond Dogs in a scoreless game. Walter Pennington, the lefty, delivers to the right-hander Specht, and Specht takes a strike at 82 miles an hour, about waist high, right across the middle, 0-1. Pennington ready again. And this one is chopped foul over toward the third base side. And quickly, Pennington is ahead in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. Walter Pennington, 6 feet 2 inches tall, his weight 205. Out of Broomfield, Colorado, and pitched collegiately again at the Colorado School of Mines. This one is way up high at 92, but he threw it about 7 feet tall, it appeared. And it went over the head of his catcher, Keegan Villalpando, and back to the backstop. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Pennington set, and the 1-2. This one again is bounced foul over on the left side. Decent crowd tonight. You see plenty of people masked up and keeping their distance too. Not too many folks sitting too close together unless they are couples. Everybody else pretty well spread apart, but enjoying a beautiful night for baseball in Wichita. This time a liner to the right side. Foul. It bangs off the padding beyond the first base dugout. 1 ball and 2 strikes still. Hardly any breeze again, as I mentioned earlier. 10 miles an hour at first pitch, out of the south, which is out towards left field. The 1-2, a fastball away, 2-2. I mentioned shadows in the first inning. The shadows of the third base bleachers are now creeping up onto the pitcher's mound. Here's the 2-2. Swung on and missed. Strike 3, and down goes Specht. That's the second strikeout of the game for Walter Pennington, and both pitchers now really throwing strikes here in the first couple of innings. A scoreless game, bottom of the second. And here's Lenny Ashby, the designated hitter for the Cheney Diamond Dogs. Left-handed hitter is Ashby, and he swings and misses. Pennington just throwing strikes, rocking back, throwing more. Working very quickly. He's ready to go again. Here's the 0-1 to the left-handed hitting Ashby, and that one on the inside edge. Took something off at 82, but a strike, and he's quickly ahead in the count again. No balls and 2 strikes. Pennington delivers the 0-2, swung on and missed, strike 3. That's 2 strikeouts in a row and 3 in the last 5 batters, and this thing just motoring along early. 2 outs, and that'll bring up catcher Caleb Farmer, a right-handed batter, stepping in now. Pennington set, and the first pitch to Farmer. Above the letters at 91 with a fastball, but a little high. 1 ball and no strikes. The shadows are right at the feet of Walter Pennington. So his body, as he delivers another fastball up high 2-0, is completely engulfed in sunshine, but just about a foot or so in front of him, you can see the shadows. 2 balls and no strikes, and the pitch is fouled at the plate by Farmer. It deflects off the padding of Keegan Villalpando, the catcher behind the plate, and the count is 2-1. I mentioned that Josh Shepis is the home plate umpire. Greg Harmon is over at first base. Mark Wagers is over at third. 3 names very well known in the collegiate ranks of umpiring here in the south central Kansas area as this one bounces in. And the count is now 3 balls and a strike to Caleb Farmer. So Pennington, cruising right along earlier in the inning, throwing strikes, has fallen behind the count here, 3-1. Ready again, the 3-1. Swung on and bounced to the left side, and Brotman has it going down to his knees, gets up and throws to first in time. What a play. Andrew Brotman again going deep in the hole at third, realizing he could slide and get up and throw on this turf, and he took advantage of it in a nice 5-3 to retire the side in order. We have played 2 quick innings in a scoreless game at the 86th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy. What's up, brother? Good. Thanks for squeezing some time in for me. MedZone Hand Sanitizers offers high-quality hand sanitizers for your office and home. MedZone Hand Sanitizers are non-sticky, smell great, and effective. They help your office get the right sizes and amounts of hand sanitizers in a simple and convenient program for your office. MedZone is a proud supporter of collegiate baseball and the NBC World Series. Go to www.medzone.net to learn more about how MedZone can help your office with a custom hand sanitizer program. Again, that website is medzone.net, not medzone.com, but find them at medzone.net. And we thank MedZone for sponsoring the NBC and that all-important hand sanitizer that we all certainly want to get a hold of these days. All right, ready for the third inning. And it'll be Keegan Villalpando that'll start off for Colorado. First pitch swinging, lifts one high on the left side, shallow left field. And coming on is going to be the left fielder who makes the catch. And that's going to be the player that was a late addition to the Cheney lineup, Tristan Kennard, who makes the catch, one away. So as if this game wasn't moving along quickly enough, 1 pitch, 1 out here in the top of the third inning. And that'll take us back to the top of the order with Kayla Werner. Werner takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1 to him. Scoreless game, top of the third. Colorado with 2 hits, Cheney with 1. No runs yet. Pitch down and away. 1 ball and 1 strike. If you missed it earlier in the losers bracket, a wild game between the Kansas City All-Stars and Houston's Prospects. Kansas City won that game in extra innings, 11-10. That game finished right before this one started. Pitches a strike at 85 on the outside edge to Werner. 1 ball and 2 strikes to the center fielder who led off the game with a single. He was stranded at second base, though, when the top of the first came to a close. Breaking pitch misses outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes, as Trevin Reynolds has worked the count even now to Werner. Reynolds set and delivers a breaking pitch that just misses away, 3-2. Jake Hayes waits on deck. If Werner or Hayes gets on, Ryan Sullivan, the third in the lineup for Colorado, would bat next. Chopped at the plate, foul. That went off the ankle, it looked like, of Werner. He's going to have to walk around a little bit and shake off the pain. Count is still 3 balls and 2 strikes. The 8:30 game here tonight features the Santa Barbara Foresters and the Denver Cougars. Santa Barbara, always a tough team to face in this NBC World Series, as the pitch is fouled at the plate, and the count is still full at 3-2. Big game going on over in Hutchinson right now. Has another popular team and a successful one, the Liberal BJs, taking on the Hutchinson Monarchs. That game has just started. It's scoreless over west of us in Hutch. There's a swing. Foul tipped into the glove by Werner, and a strikeout for Reynolds. And that's another strikeout for Trevin Reynolds, his 5th already. And 2 outs here in the top of the 3rd inning for Jake Hayes. I mentioned earlier that some of the numbers for Trevin Reynolds at Mesa State in Colorado, as the first pitch to Jake Hayes is swung on and missed. 27 2/3, Reynolds struck out 38. To put that in perspective and what a great start he was off to last season, 2019 that is, as the pitch is sliced foul, he pitched in 61 1/3 innings and struck out only 8 more batters. He struck out 46 and 61 1/3 2 years ago, 38 in just 27 innings this past season. And there's another strikeout here in the 3rd. He gets Hayes looking as the lefty goes down, looking, and that would be another strikeout for Reynolds, his 6th of the game. After 2.5, Colorado nothing and Cheney nothing. Ready for the bottom of the 3rd inning. Tristan Kennard will lead things off for the Cheney Diamond Dogs, the number 8 hitter in their order. And Kennard takes a fastball a little bit high, 1 ball and no strikes. Scoreless game through 2.5 innings, plus 1 pitch here in the bottom of the 3rd. Shadows completely engulfed the pitcher's mound area, except for a little sliver on the third base side. as Walter Pennington delivers a fastball for a strike on the outside edge to even the count at 1 strike. Tristan Kennard, a late addition to the starting lineup for Cheney, a right-handed batter, and he takes another fastball away. 2 and a strike, the count to him, as Pennington, a rare early moment, has fallen behind in the count. And the quick working lefty delivers. This one swung on. He took something off, and Kennard was out in front of it. 2 and 2 strikes. So the change works to even the count on the swing and miss. And now Pennington set again and delivers. And a swing and a miss. Strike 3, and down goes Kennard. That is the 4th strikeout of the game for Pennington. So that is 10 combined strikeouts already between these two pitchers. 16 outs have been recorded, and 10 of them strikeouts. First pitch to Andrew Stewart. Swung on and missed for a strike, 0-1. 6 for Trevin Reynolds, 4 for Walter Pennington. This one is swung on, and the right-hander slices one the other way. That one's down for a base hit. As Andrew Stewart, a good piece of hitting, going the other way for a 1-out single. And that'll take us back to the top of the order with Kyler Castillo. Well, you like to see that from the number 9 hitter, getting on base and flipping it back to the top. And now you give those batters up at the top of the lineup, proficient in getting on base, a chance to move them around. Kyler Castillo, first pitch swings, bounces one high over to third, and Brotman's throw over to first is wide of the bag. It's going to bounce off the first base dugout, and everybody will move up 90 more feet. So down to third base goes Stewart, and down to second base goes Castillo. Boy, Brotman did a great job that time charging in on that high hopper, but knew he'd have to hurry the throw over to first. And in doing so, he threw it inside of the bag. It bounded off the backstop over by the first base dugout, and that allowed Stewart to go from first to third, and Castillo is now on over at second base. So that'll be an E5, 2 in scoring position for Cheney, and here's Corrigan Bartlett now, the center fielder. He's showing bunt. It's a good one. Back to the mound. The throw to the plate, and safe at home is Stewart. And Cheney's taken a 1-0 lead, and Colorado is not going to like that. On a bang-bang play at the plate, a very close call, and now the Colorado coach, Jeff Buchanan, their head coach, is going to come out and talk with home plate umpire Josh Shepis. Well, it was a nice bunt by Bartlett off to the first base side of the mound, and Pennington did a pretty good job right there. Probably gambled a little bit by throwing it home. And it's certainly the gamble that Cheney made on the bunt paid off. They've got a 1-0 lead. And now a one-hopper back to the mound, fielded by Pennington. This is Jackson Glenn. The throw is to second in time for 1. They will not get the out at first. And another run has scored. And Cheney has taken a 2-0 lead as Castillo comes home to score. So a lot happening very quickly after the bunt that allowed the first run of the game to score. A comebacker to the mound. Corrigan Bartlett, a fielder's choice, safe at first, but does get the RBI. Now Bartlett wants to steal second on the first pitch to Jackson Glenn, and he's there safely. So a stolen base for Bartlett. Now he's in scoring position with 2 outs. Jackson Glenn at the plate. I believe that first pitch was a ball. They have nothing on the scoreboard as of yet. Pennington through the stretch. Boy, this is almost like calling a basketball game as quickly as these pitchers are working, and we've seen some first pitch swings quite a bit here in the early stages as well. But Cheney has taken a 2-0 lead. 2 runs on 4 hits for the Diamond Dogs. No runs, 2 hits for Colorado. There's also been an error in this inning by Colorado as well. Don't forget that. This one yanked foul beyond the third base dugout on the bounce. 0-2 still. The count to Jackson Glenn. Glenn is 1 for 1. He singled back in the first inning. That came with 2 outs, and he was stranded at first when the inning came to a close. Pennington stretches, And this one is up high. Jackson Glenn playing collegiately at a very well-respected college, Dallas Baptist University. He started his career playing collegiately in Texas as well at Grayson County Community College. That's up in the northern tip of Texas, Sherman to be exact. As the 1-2 is swung on, bounced over toward third, charging in is Brotman. The throw to first this time is on the mark, and the side retired. But there was an error on Brotman that did not help matters for Colorado, and Cheney scores two. They leave one, and after three, Diamond Dogs 2, Colorado nothing at the 86th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy. Ryan Sullivan starts the top of the third inning for Colorado, and he takes the first pitch outside for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Sullivan, Jason Ajamian, and Andrew Brotman, 3, 4, and 5 for the Colorado Cyclones, now trailing Cheney's Diamond Dogs by the score of 2-0. And Trevin Reynolds delivers, and the pitch swung on, bouncing ball deep in the hole at short. Stewart is there, backhands, then throws to first. A little bit late and high. In fact, it pulled the first baseman Sims off the bag. And that'll be a base hit for sure, as Sullivan is going to get on to start the top of the fourth inning. Third hit of the game for Colorado. 4 hits in the contest for Cheney. Cheney's got a 2-0 lead, top of the fourth inning. That'll bring up Jason Ajamian, now a right-handed hitter. First pitch to him, in there for a strike, 0-1. Jason Ajamian played in a few different places collegiately, including Cal State Northridge this past season. He takes a ball, then a snap throw to first, and Ryan Sullivan is back. I mentioned how rare it is that you see college baseball players come in here who played in the same place all 4 years of their career. Well, Ajamian is the opposite of that. He played at 4 different places in his career. Starting at Chico State in 2017 as he takes down and away. 2018 at Pasadena Community College, 2019 at Los Angeles Valley College, then wrapped up his career this year, assuming he did. He played in a handful of games that they played at Cal State Northridge. He hit .299 with 6 runs batted in this season. He's ahead in the count, 2 balls and a strike, and Ajamian takes in tight, and the count is now 3-1. His best year collegiately was 2019 at Los Angeles Valley College, where he hit .387 with 6 homers and brought home 39 runs. He also scored 43 runs. Lines this one foul off the netting above the first base dugout. And the count is now full to the right-handed hitting first baseman for Colorado, Jason Ajamian. Pennington will stretch. Checks over at first, and now the full count pitch. And this one is bounced foul just outside the bag at third. I think Walter Pennington was anticipating a possible steal by Ryan Sullivan with the count full at 3-2. We'll see if Sullivan is going early or not here. Pennington will stretch, and here comes another 3-2 offering to a Jamian. Runner not going anywhere, and a slider misses down and away, ball 4. Colorado didn't need to send him. That was a walk issued to a Jamian. So he heads to first. Sullivan goes down to second base, and now Colorado's got something cooking here in the top of the 4th inning. 2-0. Cheney's got the lead, but the Cyclones threatening now with runners at first and second and nobody out. And Andrew Brotman will step up to the plate. So these two pitchers really breezed through the first couple of innings, but Cheney made some noise in the bottom of the 3rd inning, scoring twice, and now Colorado is trying to answer here in the top of the 4th with 2 on and nobody out. They'll play in tight at the corners as Brotman is bunting. Good one back to the mound, but they've got to play at third, and they make it. Nice whip around that time by Trevin Reynolds as the bunt was too strong, and Reynolds able to whip around and throw to third for a 1-5 force out, and Sullivan is out at third base. Well, I said it was a good bunt, and if we were playing on natural grass, that would have been the case. But it just gets back to the pitcher too quickly. Not enough touch on that. So now, first and second with 1 out. We'll see what Wyatt Featherston can do. First pitch to Featherston. Fastball at 93, but misses. 1 ball and no strikes. Featherston a strikeout victim in the 2nd inning. Reynolds stretches and delivers outside for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. Trevin Reynolds has struck out at least 1 in each of the first 3 innings. He does not, though, have a strikeout yet here in the 4th. There's 2 on and 1 out. Through this stretch he goes, and right down Main Street for a strike, and it's now 2-1. That one a fastball at 92 miles an hour. Reynolds from Las Vegas, Nevada. Pitching collegiately at Mesa State in western Colorado, not too terribly far away. 2-1. Here's the pitch from the right-handed pitcher. Just misses. Tried to paint the outer edge and missed by about an inch or two, and it's now 3-1. So Reynolds in danger of walking them loaded with Blake Matty, the designated hitter, waiting on deck. Reynolds stretches again, checks back at second. Now looks back a second time and fires home, and a swing and a miss at a 93-mile-an-hour fastball, and the count's now full at 3-2. The infield looks for a double play. In the meantime, Reynolds is hoping they don't have to worry about it if he can get a strikeout here. Not that he'd have a problem with a double play either, but pitchers do like those strikeouts, and he just got it. A swing and a miss for Featherston. And there is the 7th strikeout of the game issued by Trevin Reynolds. And it's also the 2nd out of the inning, and that'll bring up Blake Matty. So some early damage for Colorado, at least getting base runners on, but now Trevin Reynolds 1 out away from working out of the jam unscathed. He'll have to retire Blake Matty, though, who singled back in the 2nd inning, and the first pitch to Matty misses for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. The wind has shifted direction a little bit. It's almost blowing straight in now from right field. The 1-0 is a slider down and away. When the game started, the flag out in right field was blowing toward the left field foul pole, but it seems like as the game is worn on, it's almost come in more directly out of the east, which you don't see much at all here in Wichita, but that's pretty much the direction the wind is coming in now. Fastball outside, and the count's now 3 balls and no strikes. Trevin Reynolds was a strike machine through the first couple of innings, but so far here in the 4th, he's not throwing them as often. He's behind in the count 3-0. And a swing and a miss. How about that? Matty had the green light, but he comes up empty. and it's 3-1. Runners at first and second, 2 outs, top of the fourth inning. 2-0. Cheney's got the lead. Reynolds set and delivers, and boy, that one was close. Cheney folks barking at Josh Shepis, the home plate umpire. They thought that was a strike, and it was called a ball, and now they are loaded. So down to third goes a Jamian. Brotman to second, and on at first base is Blake Maddy now. And that is the first walk of the game issued by Trevin Reynolds. So there's a conversation out on the hill with the pitching coach for Cheney. The Diamond Dogs have Pat Hahn as their head coach. Mike Quick is one of their assistant coaches, and so are Trey Frederick, Mark Cavallo, and Hunter Douglas. Mark Poole is their first base coach, so that was not him making a trip to the hill. He's heading back to the dugout now, is the pitching coach, and that'll send Trey Vasquez up to the plate. So they are loaded with Colorado Cyclones, but there are 2 outs here in the top of the fourth inning. 2-0. Cheney's got the lead, but Colorado threatening. Reynolds will continue to work from the stretch with 2 outs. And it looked like he took a little bit off of that one to Vasquez, who takes a strike, 0-1. Trey Vasquez 0 for 1, grounded out to second to end the second inning. And the pitch swung on and missed. And whatever was said to Trevin Reynolds out on the mound worked. 2 pitches in anyway, it's 0-2. Reynolds stretches, and the 0-2, and that hit him. It hit Vasquez, and he gets a free pass, and Colorado's going to get a run on the board the easy way. That is the number 8 hitter in the lineup for Colorado, and one that just simply got away from Trevin Reynolds. So an RBI for Vasquez. A Jamian comes home. Down to third base goes Brotman, and to second, Maddy on the hit batsman. Trey Vasquez on at first with a run batted in. And more importantly for Colorado, it cuts the deficit in half now at 2-1. And here's Keegan Villalpando, the catcher now. And he takes, and that one close again, but misses for a ball. Trevin Reynolds looked over into the dugout that time too. I think he did that in frustration, like, what do I have to do to throw a strike? 1 ball and no strikes. This one swung on, bouncing ball out to short. Could get Cheney out of the inning. The underhand toss to second just in the nick of time. Boy, Vasquez almost slid in there, beating the force, but he was just barely out. However, Colorado does score a run in spite of leaving the bases loaded, and we'll go to the bottom of the fourth. Cheney 2, Colorado's Cyclones 1 at the 86th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy. George Specht to start the bottom of the fourth inning for Cheney, and Specht is bunting on the first pitch from Walter Pennington. Good one out in front of the hill, but Pennington does a nice job of fielding his position, picks it up facing third, whips around to first and throws in time for a 1-3 putout, one away. Boy, Pennington, he gambled a little bit in the bottom of the third inning on a bunt toward the first base side, nearly got the runner out at home anyway. In fact, Colorado thought that he did get the throw out at the plate, but that time the throw was on the mark and in time. One pitch, one out. Here's Lenny Ashby now, the designated hitter. So it's 2-1 our score here in the bottom of the fourth inning, thanks in part to the RBI bunt single by Corrigan Bartlett back in the third inning. 2 runs for Colorado for Cheney in the third, a single run for Colorado in the top of the fourth, and now Ashby takes his strike and the count's even at 1-1. Walter Pennington set, fires a strike again, this one on the outer edge. Ashby did not like that call by Josh Shepis. Boy, things might be happening so fast that Shepis is having a hard time as well. These pitchers are working in a hurry. This one swung on and a high bouncing ball foul just outside the first baseline. And the count is 1-2 strikes to Lenny Ashby. Ashby a strikeout victim in the second inning. He is 0 for 1. Pennington through the wind and delivers. And the pitch swung on, bouncing ball out towards short. Trey Vasquez is there, a high throw to first. Did they get the tag down? Ajamian did. What a play by Jason Ajamian over at first. He had to go airborne, reaching to his left towards home plate with his right-handed glove, catch it in midair, and come down and swipe the tag on Ashby. And that's exactly what he did to bail out his teammate Vasquez on the high throw to first. 2 up, 2 down. Here's Caleb Farmer. You have not much more time to describe that than a pitch has already been thrown to Farmer, and it's 1-no strike, missing outside. Pennington ready again. The 1-0 line to the right side. This one is going to land just outside the line down the right field side. And I mean just by inches. Greg Harmon ran down the first baseline, had as good of an angle as anybody on that, though, and he said it just landed foul. And that one was heading towards the corner and would have at least been 2 for Caleb Farmer, as the ball can scoot around pretty well on this artificial surface. So the count's 1-1 to the right-handed hitter. And this time Pennington delivers a strike taken, and it's 1-2. Pennington working the outside there with a changeup. At 83, he took something off. Ahead in the count, 1-2 strikes. Through the wind he goes, and Pennington delivers this one inside. The pitcher's mound is back in sunshine again, because as the sun moves off to the west, now the third base bleachers have gone to the shadows of them have gone to the first base side of the mound, as this one is chopped foul. So there was a period of time where the shadows were approaching the mound from the third base side, but because of the direction the sun is setting, now the bleachers, the shadows from them are creating shadows on the first base side of the pitcher's mound. So the pitcher is in sunshine, throwing through shadows, and then the home plate area is also in sunshine. Count is now full to Caleb Farmer, who takes the ball. The count is full at 3-2. Nobody on, 2 outs, and there's ball 4. So a 2-out walk, Farmer on at first base. 2 quick outs for Cheney here in the bottom of the fourth inning, but now the Diamond Dogs get a runner at first for Tristan Kennard. Kennard struck out in the third inning to lead the inning off, so he is 0 for 1. Walter Pennington will go back to the stretch. He's a lefty again, making it very tough on runners at first base as Kennard sends this one behind the plate foul. And the count is 0-1 to him. Right-handed hitter Kennard takes one down, and it gets away from the catcher Villalpando. And down to second base is going to go Farmer on what likely will be a pass ball. It was a little bit low, but it looked like Villalpando looked up and just didn't get down far enough on the ball. And it went back to the backstop. So Farmer is now at second base. With Cheney leading 2-1 here in the bottom of the fourth, they're looking for more as this one is ripped into center field, but right at Kayla Werner, who had it played perfectly, and straight away he catches the floating shot to center, and the side retired. So a walk with 2 outs, and Cheney strands a runner at second. We'll go to the quick-moving fifth. 2-1 Diamond Dogs at the 86th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy. Ready for the fifth inning. Kayla Werner will start it off for Colorado. And the first pitch from Trevin Reynolds is just low, 91 miles an hour, but misses down low. 1 ball and no strikes. It's the top 3 in the order for Cheney, or for Colorado, Werner, Jake Hayes, and Ryan Sullivan. 1, 2, and 3 with Cheney leading by the score of 2-1 here in the top half of inning number 5. Reynolds delivers just outside. 1 ball and 1 strike the count to Werner. Werner is 1 for 2. He is singled and struck out. That single led off the game. And the pitch swung on, bouncing ball out to short. Stewart started in. Now he'll play deep, let it bounce to him, then throw to first in time for a 6-3 putout. And there's one away. That'll bring up Jake Hayes. 1-0 Liberal has the lead over the Hutchinson Monarchs. That game in the third inning from Hutchinson. Here, we've also got a 1-run game, 2-1. Cheney's got the lead over the Colorado Cyclones as Jake Hayes steps to the plate and sends one foul. The left-handed hitter hit one foul on the left side. 0-1, and as the ball was thrown back to Trevin Reynolds, he nearly got hit with it because he lost it in the sun. Again, there's some shadows between home and third, but a lot of sunshine right in that general direction. The mound is in sunshine, and so is home plate. And with that sun peeking through there, Reynolds almost got hit by the ball coming back to him from Josh Shepis, the umpire. Since then, he's thrown 2 pitches, a ball and a strike. And so now the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes to Jake Hayes, who just chopped the second one foul. Boy, you really have to stay on top the way these 2 pitchers are working so very quickly. 1 ball and 2 strikes, and the pitch that went high and away, and the count is now even at 2-2. 2 runs, 4 hits for Cheney, a run on 2 hits for Colorado. Visitors half of inning number 5. 2-2 the count to Hayes, who sends one over toward first base, and that'll be the first baseman fielding it and throwing back to the bag. The pitcher covering, and the throw is not in time. That was a good slide into first base by Jake Hayes. Well, it was a high bouncing ball, and Davis Sims, the first baseman, moved to his right and then just had to wait for that second bounce to come down. A good job by Reynolds covering over at first, but it just took too long for the ball to come down. And Hayes slid into first safely with his first hit of the ball game. So that'll bring up Ryan Sullivan. Sullivan up there from the right side of the plate, 1 for 2 tonight as Trevin Reynolds goes back to the stretch. And Sullivan, first pitch swings and sends one to the sweets off to our right. And the count is 0-1 to him. You can see Trevin Reynolds kind of squinting in to get the sign. Now goes through the stretch, and he'll throw over to first. Game is by about a minute over an hour old. We started at 6:02 Central Time tonight. The wind, you might be able to hear it in the microphone starting to pick up too, and still in from the east, in from right field. As a slider well outside, good stop behind the plate by Caleb Farmer. Off with the mask and sliding to his right behind the left-handed batter's box to stop that one from getting away and keeping the runner at first. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Runner at first, 1 away, top of the 5th inning. Cheney 2, Colorado 1. Cheney has also out-hit Colorado by 1, 4-3. Each team has committed 1 error. Here's the pitch. This one is lined the other way, right side slicing, and it's going to be out of play, clearing the bullpen down the right field line. A lot of Colorado relief pitchers, backup catchers, taking it easy down there. No activity in their bullpen. Same can be said for the Cheney bullpen. These two pitchers very efficient through the first few innings. They've not been quite the same in the last couple, but still pretty good all in all. Pitch count-wise, you would think, is the next pitch chopped foul outside the bag at first. And the count is still 1 ball and 2 strikes to Ryan Sullivan. Right-handed hitting left fielder for Colorado. Played collegiately at Gonzaga. He is from Aurora, Colorado, though. Here's the pitch, lifted into right field. This one slicing toward the line, and this one is also going to land in foul territory. So Sullivan, who was rounding first and on his way to second, will have to head all the way back to the plate. He hit .283 at Gonzaga this past season, did Ryan Sullivan. Had a homer, 12 runs batted in. Now he'll step back in. Of course, Gonzaga in Spokane, Washington. Trevin Reynolds through the stretch, looks over at first. Hayes inches away. He's not going anywhere, and the pitch lined foul again. This one on the right side again. And not only is it a good at-bat for Sullivan, staying alive, fighting off these 2-strike pitches, he is also consistently looking to go to the opposite field. And we'll see if that trend continues, as he's about to see another 1-2 pitch. Reynolds stretches, there goes the runner, and again a fly ball to the right side, tailing and out of play over near the bullpen on the right field side. So Sullivan just doing a really good job of staying alive here and sending baseballs the other way and just taking what he's been offered by Trevin Reynolds. And the count's still 1 ball and 2 strikes. I was talking about pitch count just moments ago, and Sullivan is driving that of Reynolds up quickly. Another 1-2, but first to throw over to first, and back diving in is Hayes. In this good pitchers duel, you can sense now that even a run here, one way or another, would be huge. In this case, a run would tie the score for Colorado, who is trailing 2-1, top of the 5th inning. Time is called at the plate now as Sullivan wants to step back. Rubs the top end of his bat with his right hand. Now back in again. As Reynolds will go through the stretch, and the pitch chopped foul at the plate. This is going to be one of the better at-bats you'd think Sullivan has had the entire calendar year, considering his collegiate season was cut short. Battling up there right now against Trevin Reynolds. And another throw over to first. And again, back diving in was Jake Hayes. I mentioned earlier Sullivan, the hero last night with the game-winning run scored. He drove it home in the bottom of the 10th inning. I say he scored it, meaning he drove it home to help score the run. Colorado winning 5-4. This one way outside. I think Trevin Frazier was just sick of watching pitches get fouled out of play and said, what the heck, let me just throw one outside and see what he does. That evens the count now at 2-2. And Reynolds is set and will stretch again. And here comes the pitch, fouled at the plate, back to the backstop. That time he got the top of the bat on the bottom of the baseball and it deflected back to the netting. And Sullivan is still alive. But what is the pitch count just in this at bat? 2 balls and 2 strikes, and it seems like about maybe 5 more foul balls on top of that. This could be about the 10th pitch of this at bat. Here it is. Another foul, right side. That one into the bleachers. Behind the first section of stands on the first base side. Still 2-2. Those shadows are moving toward the first baseline. We might have the sun completely down by the time this at bat comes to an end. The way Sullivan is fighting things off. Another 2-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Down he goes. And Reynolds wins that battle, and what a battle it was. And the fans from Cheney really giving Reynolds a nice round of applause. They appreciate that one. As he went mano a mano, Trevin Reynolds did with Ryan Sullivan, and Reynolds wins the battle, getting the strikeout. That is his 8th K of the game, and he still has a string going of at least 1 in each inning. And now here's Jason Ajamian. Reynolds will stretch. The runner goes. The throw down to second base and a stolen base for Jake Hayes. So Hayes able to swipe second base. He's there as the pitch was a strike at the plate to Ajamian. Ajamian, a right-handed hitter, has walked and struck out. He also scored back in the 4th inning, one of the 2 Colorado runs they scored. Slider in there for a strike. That one at 75. Reynolds has thrown mostly fastballs and changeup, then mixes in that one. And he's ahead in the count, 0-2 to Ajamian. Nobody holding the runner on at second. The 0-2 swung on and missed. A bad-looking swing there by Ajamian as Reynolds really had him fooled. And Trevin Reynolds escapes damage in the 5th inning after a 1-out single and a stolen base. We will go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Cheney 2, Colorado 1 at the 86th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy. Andrew Stewart starts the bottom of the 5th inning for Cheney against a new pitcher, a sidearm for Colorado, and Stewart is quickly behind in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. 2-1 our score. Cheney's got the lead as this one comes in outside for a ball, and the count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. J.T. Mossberg is the right-handed sidearm pitcher for Colorado, and he just got Stewart swinging for a strikeout, and there's 1 away. So Mossberg comes on, throws 4 pitches, 3 of them strikes, and the right-handed sidearm pitcher from Johnstown, Colorado, via Southeastern Missouri State University, gets a strikeout. 2-1, Cheney's got the lead, bottom of the 5th, and now Mossberg, a strike to the leadoff hitter in the lineup for Cheney, Kyler Castillo. Mossberg also works very quickly, and he just delivered another strike. 1 ball and 1 strike to Castillo. Boy, and you thought these first 2 pitchers worked quickly. J.T. Mossberg is almost rapid fire up there without waiting. He's behind in the count, 2-1. And this is a little slider that misses away, and he's down in the count now, 3-1. Each team with 3 hits, but Cheney has outscored Colorado in the run column 2-1. And another off-speed pitch misses away at 70 miles an hour. He does not throw hard, but it is coming from a sidearm angle, which can be challenging. Here, a liner to first, snared by a Ajamian. Boy, Castillo got a good piece of that one going the other way, but right at a Ajamian over at first. Boy, Ajamian's really fielded his position well. Remember the play a couple of innings ago? He leaped in the air on a throw to him from short. It was high into his left, so he had to reach up and towards home plate, then swipe the runner coming by, and he did, and that time shows the soft hands on the liner. 2 away, and here's Corrigan Bartlett. Bartlett takes his strike, 0-1. I mentioned it's 2-1, each team with 3 hits. The error column is even at 1 apiece as well. Strike delivered to Corrigan Bartlett. He's behind in the count now, 0-2. And this one is down. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. Wind still blowing fairly heavily now. In from right field as this is a slow bouncing ball toward third. Brotman throws to first, and it pulled Ajamian off the bag, and he could not keep his foot on and catch it. And that might well be another error on Andrew Brotman over at third. He's already got 1 throwing error tonight, and that might well be his second. It looked like the throw would have got there in time, but it was off the mark, and they've not put anything up as of yet. But I think that will be an error, and it is. So Bartlett reaches on the second E5 of the game. And here's Jackson Glenn now with a runner at first base. Still 1-0 Liberal over Hutchinson. That game in the 4th inning from Hutch. Here it's 2-1 Cheney over Colorado's Cyclones. Bottom of the 5th inning. Mossman delivers down and away. And that pitch a ball. Now the only shadows on the infield are pretty much right around the first base area. About 80% of the infield is in sunshine, with shadows along the first base side only. 1 ball, 1 strike is now the count at the plate to Jackson Glenn. Glenn is 1 for 2. He is singled and grounded out. Mossman stretches, and this one fouled behind the plate, just over the netting behind home plate. And the count is 1 ball and 2 strikes. The 1-2 swung on and lifted high to right field. Coming on is going to be Featherston, and he'll track it down on the side retired. So a 2-out error committed by Colorado, but Cheney cannot capitalize. We'll go to the 6th, Cheney 2, Colorado 1 at the 86th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy. As we move to the 6th, a brand new pitcher for the Cheney Diamond Dogs out there, Colin Horton, a right-hander. So both starting pitchers now out of the game as Andrew Brotman leads things off for Colorado here in the top of the 6th inning, and the first pitch fouled back to the screen, and it's 0-1. 2 runs, 3 hits, and an error for Cheney. A run on 3 hits, 2 errors now for Colorado. Both errors by the man at the plate, right-handed hitting Andrew Brotman, the third baseman for Colorado. As the pitch from Horton is a fastball at 90 miles an hour. The question is, did Josh Shepis call it a strike? I have not seen an indication and nothing up on the scoreboard. The trigger a little bit slow by the operator. That time a slider that was feathered but just missed low. 2 balls and a strike is the count. Colin Horton from Keller, Texas, right near Fort Worth, pitching collegiately at Odessa College, where he started in 6 games this season. And he delivers a slider, and ducking out of the way was Brotman. Then it came back across the inside part of the plate to the right-handed hitter, and Brotman just turned away in frustration when he heard Shepis call it a strike. The count's now even at 2-2. So Horton ready, delivers a swing and a miss at a 91-mile-an-hour fastball, and a nice job coming into the game by Horton of getting a strikeout to start the top of the 6th inning. And there's one away. MedZone Hand Sanitizer is the official hand sanitizer of the NBC World Series. Non-sticky, smell great, and effective. Proud supporters of collegiate baseball and the NBC World Series. Go to medzone.net to learn more about American-made hand sanitizers for home and office. Wyatt Featherston steps in, takes the first pitch for a ball from Colin Horton, and the count is 1 ball and no strike to him. Nobody on, 1 out, top of the 6th inning. Cheney 2, Colorado Cyclones 1. As the pitch taken by Featherston up high, another ball. It's 2-0. For a moment there, the entire field was in shadows as some cloud cover had covered up the sun, but the sun peeking through now, creating some sunshine in most parts of the field with occasional shadows splattering mostly around the first base side from the stands on the third base side. 2-0, and the pitch in tight. It almost hit him, and it did. Featherston is going to go down to first base. Well, he didn't react initially like he got hit, but just kind of leaned backwards out of the way, but it was enough to graze the inner part of the jersey perhaps, and down to first base goes Wyatt Featherston after getting hit by a pitch. So a runner at first, 1 away. Here's designated hitter Blake Maddie. Colin Horton will work from the stretch as, again, the clouds have moved completely in front of the sun, and when they do, it gets suddenly much darker out here. The lights are not yet on at 7:22 Central Time, but what a huge difference when the clouds come in front of the sun. Almost looks like an overcast day, even though it's not. Here's a pitch swung on and a liner right back up the chute and on into center field for a base hit. So Blake Maddie is aboard, and in fact, he's been aboard in all 3 plate appearances, 2 singles and a walk for Maddie. So he's having himself a good night for Colorado. Down to second base goes Featherston. And Colorado's got something cooking here in the top of the 6th inning. Runners at first and second with 2 away. And Trey Vasquez will step up to the plate. Actually, he won't. It looks like they're going to get a pinch hitter. And this is going to be Lance Kelly stepping in and pinch hitting. Lance Kelly, a left-handed hitter with runners at first and second, will pinch hit here for Vasquez. And Kelly takes the first pitch from Colin Horton for a strike, 0-1. Infield looks for a double play for Cheney with runners at first and second, 1 away. The pitch, a little soft floater out towards short. The only play will be a force at third, and they got it. Nicely done by Andrew Stewart. That was a soft little floater, and Stewart's momentum moving to his right at shortstop picked it up on the bounce, and the only option he had was to throw to third, and they got that by a few steps on the force as well. So a big break right there for Cheney as Kelly reaches on the fielder's choice. However, out at third was Featherston, 6-5 for out number 2. So runners at first and second, 2 away, and here's Keegan Villalpando taking the first pitch away on a breaking ball at 74, 1 ball and no strikes. Now a force at any base for Cheney will get them out of the inning completely with 2 outs, as Villalpando takes a breaking ball in there for a strike. Colorado players and fans barking at Josh Shepis about that. It's now 1 ball and 1 strike. Through this stretch goes Horton, looks at second and pitches. A slider in there for a strike, and it's now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Boy, he's really got a lot of movement on that slider. Not much with velocity, floating him in at the low 70s, but finding the mark most of the time so far. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Horton ready again, and this one swung on and a bouncer over to third. Charging in is the third baseman, Glenn. He'll throw to first in time, and the side retired. So Colorado threatens with 2 on and 1 out, but can advance nobody further than second base. And we'll go to the bottom of the 6th. Still Cheney 2, Colorado 1 at the 86th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy. To the bottom of the 6th we go. It'll be Davis Sims to lead things off for the Cheney Diamond Dogs, and he takes a very slow slider in there for a strike. 0-1 is JT Mossberg, that right-handed side armor, feathers one in there nicely, then comes back with a fastball at 80, but that one misses away. 1 ball and 1 strike to Davis Sims. Sims, George Specht, and Lenny Ashby, 4, 5, and 6, the heart of the Cheney lineup, with the Diamond Dogs leading 2-1, and Sims calmly pokes one into right field for a base hit. Took that slow off-speed pitch from the right-handed side armor, Mossman, and the right-handed hitter just dumped it into right field for a base hit. So the Diamond Dogs with their leadoff batter aboard, Davis Sims on at first, and here's the left-handed hitting first baseman now, or excuse me, the left-handed hitting second baseman, George Specht. That is the first time all night that Cheney has had their leadoff batter aboard. Now a bunt by Specht out in front of the mound, and diving for it was Mossman, and he makes the catch. A headfirst dive by a pitcher toward the home plate area, and the pitcher Mossman makes the catch. A headfirst dive toward home plate. And now Mossman held his ribs for a little bit walking around. He took his glove off, and now he's bending over. He might have landed hard on his stomach right there. What a play by the athletic pitcher, JT Mossberg, for Colorado, though, diving headfirst to catch a bunt, and there's one away. Lenny Ashby is in now, takes a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. Mossberg ready, a slider, misses down low. Runner at first, 1 away. What an out that was. Mossberg, the pitcher, diving toward home plate on a bunt attempt that George Specht got under too much. Mossberg delivers a strike here, and the count's now 2-1. Davis Sims, not much of a threat to steal at first. He's got a short lead. The 2-1 pitch way outside. And the count's now 3-1. The hit column is even at 4 apiece. The run column says 2-1 Cheney. The error column says 2-1 Colorado. As this one is lined to right field, backing up and not backing up far enough is going to be Wyatt Featherston, and it one-hops the fence for a ground rule double. Well, that one was hit on a line, and Wyatt Featherston, the right fielder for Colorado, started in, then realized that's the wrong way to go, and he backed up and jumped up and couldn't catch that one. I'm not sure if he started back on it. Had he done that, he would have been able to catch it anyways. It still was a couple feet over his head, but Lenny Ashby has just come through with a ground rule double that sends Davis Sims down to third base, and now runners at second and third for Cheney for Caleb Farmer, the catcher. Mossberg delivers, and a strike on the inside part to Farmer, and it's no balls and a strike. Golden opportunity here for Cheney to get some insurance, guarding just a one-run lead. Pitches a fastball down low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Second and third, 1 out for Cheney. Bottom of the 6th inning, Diamond Dawgs leading the Colorado Cyclones 2-1. And Farmer takes, that one was close, just missed the outside edge. Mossberg frustrated with the no call there of a strike by home plate umpire Josh Shepis. 2-1. And this one outside, and it's 3-1. Boy, Josh Shepis has heard it from both sides here tonight. The game's barely a little over halfway over. The pitch, there's a strike on the outside edge. The count's now full at 3-2. Boy, Davis Sims down at third. The runner for Cheney is getting a huge head start because he's not being held on by Andrew Brotman. And once the pitch is thrown, he is about a third the way down the line as this one is lifted. High fly ball left field. Backing up is Sullivan. It's going to be deep enough for the runner to tag. Here comes Sims to score on the sacrifice fly by Caleb Farmer. And Cheney has an insurance run. They've taken a 3-1 lead. So the sacrifice fly to left brings home the run. No official at bat for Farmer, but he does get the run batted in as Davis Sims scores from third base. And in a game pitched as well as this one has, a 2-run lead is huge. It's 3-1 Cheney. Holding at second base, by the way, was Lenny Ashby. So 2 outs, runner at second with Cheney leading by the score of 3-1. Ed Scott will step in now for Cheney from the left side of the plate. He swings and misses at the first Mossberg offering on a slider that stayed outside. I think Scott thought that was going to tail back to him, and it never did. No balls and a strike. Ed Scott was originally set to be the starter in left field for Cheney, but then Tristan Kennard got the late call. But now Scott comes in off the bench here in the bottom of the 6th. And he just chopped one foul over toward the first base dugout. No balls and 2 strikes. Liberal has taken a 2-0 lead over the Hutch Monarchs out in Hutchinson right now. That game is in the 5th inning, moving along rather quickly, as is this one. Pitch misses for a ball. Mossberg ahead in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Earlier today, the Kansas City All-Stars knocked off the Houston MVP prospects 11-10 as this one is swung on and driven deep to left field, slicing down the line, and it's going to land in front of the wall and bang off of it. That'll be an RBI double as coming home from third is Ashby, and it's now a 4-1 Cheney lead. And Lenny Ashby, he came around third base and he stumbled and fell about halfway or a third of the way between third and home, and the fans got a good chuckle out of that, but there is no harm of him getting thrown out as that one was really struck well. Took a long time for Sullivan out in left field to retrieve it, so it was still an easy RBI for Tristan Kennard, for Ed Scott, and that's given Cheney a 4-1 lead. So Scott off the bench, how about that? Get your name called and deliver an RBI double, and a big one because now Cheney's got a 3-run lead with Andrew Stewart up there behind in the count. 1 ball and no strikes. He bounces one to short to his left. Trey Vasquez, wild throw to first, and that's going to allow a run to score. That is the 3rd error of the game by Colorado, all 3 of them from the left side of the infield. 2 errors at third base, and now the first by the shortstop Vasquez, who threw wildly high to first base. And Colorado would have been out of the inning, but instead a run scores. Scott from second. Andrew Stewart stays at first base after the throwing error, but still Cheney has plated 3 here in the inning. They lead 5-1. Andrew Stewart's the batter now. Excuse me, Kyler Castillo is the batter. Stewart is on at first base via the E6. Castillo takes down and away for a ball. Kyler Castillo, his 4th trip to the plate. And he is 0 for 3. He was the benefactor of an error back in the 3rd inning. One of 2 throwing errors by Andrew Brotman. Brotman has had his struggles over at third tonight. And the pitch, a ground ball to the shortstop, and actually that's Brotman at short. I beg your pardon. Brotman moved from third to short, so he was the one guilty of the throwing error. He's got 3 errors tonight, but what a beautiful play there, diving to his left, keeping that one from going into center, and getting the force out at second, 6-4. So it's Brotman redeeming himself there with a really nice play, but Cheney scores 3 times in the bottom of the 6th. To the 7th, Diamond Dogs 5, Colorado 1 at the 86th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy. Top of the order for the Colorado Cyclones in the 7th inning means Kayla Werner steps in. He'll be followed by Jake Hayes and Ryan Sullivan. So 1, 2, 3 in the lineup for the Cyclones, but they've got their work cut out for them now. Trailing Cheney by 4 runs, 5-1 Diamond Dogs as we start inning number 7. 5 runs on 6 hits for Cheney, a run on 4 hits for Colorado, and also 3 errors on this Colorado team as Werner takes a strike. No balls and 1 strike. As Colin Horton is back out for his 2nd inning of work from Keller, Texas. He hails, the right-hander delivers, and the pitch is swung on and lifted into center field. And this will be Corrigan Bartlett moving over to his left. He's there, drifting over, makes the catch, and there is out number 1. So that'll bring up Jake Hayes now. Hayes 1 for 3 tonight. Singled his last time up, that coming after grounding out and striking out. Number 2 in the lineup for Colorado, left-handed hitting second baseman, takes the first pitch from Colin Horton, and it's in there for a strike, 0-1. This time Horton missing, down and in. 1 ball and 1 strike. I mentioned Colin Horton at Odessa College this past season, started 6 times. His record was 5-0. He pitched in 29 2/3 innings as he delivers a ball here, and the count's now 2-1. Horton set again and delivers, and a swing and a miss. He took something off, did Horton, and Hayes comes up empty on a slider, and the count's now 2 balls and 2 strikes. Colin Horton had 2 complete games this season. He struck out 35 in 29 2/3 innings. Count's now full as he misses there, so the payoff pitch here is swung on and lifted into left field, but right at Ed Scott, who just came into the game in the last half inning and got an RBI double and now has one hit his way, and he snags that one. So Ed Scott has not been in the game yet a full inning, but he's making the most of it and catches one there for the second out of the inning. Colin Horton surrendered 26 hits this season, 9 earned runs in 29 2/3. Out at Odessa College. The pitch here to Ryan Sullivan is swung on and fouled back just off to our right. That was one booth over and right off the facade just below our booth. That could have easily slipped in here if it were a few more feet to its left as we are watching it come our way. Horton misses here outside. The count's now even at 1-1. Ryan Sullivan had that monstrous at bat back in the 5th inning, not in results, but in number of pitches, as he really battled with Trevin Reynolds for a long time, and Reynolds finally won the battle getting a strikeout, but Sullivan made him work for it, throwing several 2-strike pitches. 2 balls and a strike as Sullivan bounces one just inside the bag at third here, fielded by the third baseman Glenn. He'll bounce one over to first on 2 hops, and it's picked up by Sims. Nicely done as Glenn takes advantage of the artificial surface and retires the hitter Sullivan 5-3. Cyclones go in order. Stretch time at the Eck. It's Cheney 5, Colorado 1 at the 86th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy. Ready for the bottom of the 7th inning. Cheney's Diamond Dogs stepping up to the plate in the bottom of the 7th with a 4-run lead, looking to add on, and they'll do so against a new pitcher for Colorado. Owen Lochner is a right-handed reliever, and the first pitch he'll throw is going to be lifted high on the third base side. That was a pop fly that was caught over at third by the new third baseman for Colorado, lifted there by Kyler Castillo, but caught for the first out of the inning. Colin Horton, the pitcher for, or excuse me, Owen Lochner, the pitcher for Colorado, interestingly enough, is from Odessa Community College. So both pitchers of record right now in the game are from Odessa Junior College. Owen Lochner for Colorado and his college teammate Colin Horton for Cheney. How about that? Small little community college in West Texas has both pitchers pitching in this NBC game right now. Corrigan Bartlett is the hitter, and he just took the second offering from Lochner for a ball. 1 ball and 1 strike. Lochner appeared in just 2 games this past season for Odessa. Well, I beg your pardon. Actually, that is correct. I thought for a second that was 2 games offensively, but he also only pitched twice in 4 total innings. So he did not get the kind of work that his counterpart Colin Horton did this season, who pitched in 6 games. Pitch in there for a strike that counts even to Corrigan Bartlett, 2 balls and 2 strikes. But 2 Odessa College pitchers in the game right now, as it is now, unless Colin Horton is relieved in the top of the 8th inning. 5-1 our score. Cheney's got the lead. Corrigan Bartlett with a 2-2 count takes one bouncing in. The count is still 2 balls and 2 strikes. Jake Hayes is at third base for Colorado. I mentioned that Brotman was coming over to make that catch, but Hayes is now over at third. Andrew Brotman, who's got 3 errors tonight, is at shortstop. He's got 2 at third and 1 at short. This one is popped. High fly ball, foul territory, right side. And a Jamian, the first baseman, is over, and that one lands on the warning track, but a Jamian could not come up with it. That is a tough play to make, though, for a first baseman. Might have even been looking up into the sun, but you're moving back and off to the side, down toward the bullpen on the right side, and the ball is also slicing away from you. Just a tough play, and Jamian could not make it. So we'll try it again. Full count to Corrigan Bartlett. Bartlett is 0 for 3. He's reached on an error, grounded into a fielder's choice, and struck out. He takes high here for ball 4, and he draws a 1-out walk. So a runner at first, 1 away for Jackson Glenn. Or excuse me, Davis Sims will step up now. That was Glenn who drew the walk. First pitch now to Sims is a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. Sims 2 for 4 tonight. Singled twice. Each of his last 2 times up. Takes one inside for a ball. Sims scored in the last inning after a single as well. Here he lines one to short, and Brotman dropped it on purpose, I believe. He did. They wanted to try and turn the double play, but I think they called the infield fly rule, so still only 1 out recorded. It was a soft little liner, and Brotman looked like he might have just dropped it on purpose to try to turn 2, but they say the force at second, and that's it. So 2 outs, and here's George Speck now. And Speck takes inside for a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. 5-1 Cheney, bottom of the 7th inning. Liberal still leading Hutch 2-0. That game also in the 7th inning. There goes the runner from first. The pitch is outside, and it'll be an easy stolen base as Jackson Glenn able to swipe second. So Glenn gets the swipe. He's down at second. There wasn't even a throw, and now George Speck ahead in the count, 2 balls and no strikes. And now Owen Lochner steps off and wants to reset. Broutman, the shortstop, bluffed over to second, and I think that's what brought everything to a stop. Now we're ready. Lochner looks back at second, nobody holding the runner on, and delivers a strike in there. And the count is 2 balls and a strike. Winner of this game will play here tomorrow at a time yet to be determined. But they will play here, whoever wins this one. Pitch swung on and fouled, back to the screen. The loser of this game will play Rose Hill tomorrow in Hutchinson. So that's the situation at stake for these two teams. The winner will play here tomorrow. The loser will play against Rose Hill in Hutchinson tomorrow. 2 balls and 2 strikes, and that one misses, and the count's now 3-2. Actually, the winner of this game will play here Thursday. The loser of this game will play in Hutchinson tomorrow. Double elimination format. Cheney got a bye, so they did not play yesterday. Colorado did play in the first round, and they won. This one is in on the fists and bounced toward first base. Ajamian Fields down on a knee, and he'll have to throw to the pitcher covering. And a nice job by Lochner, as he was, for a 3-1 putout. And the side retired, but Colorado running out of outs as we go to the 8th. It's Cheney 5, Colorado 1 at the 86th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy. To the 8th inning we go. 5-1 Cheney as Jason Ajamian first pitch swings and sends a liner right to third, and it's snared by Jackson Glenn. Well, Colin Horton threw one pitch here in the 8th, and he's got one quick out. Ajamian on the screws, but right to third. One away. So that'll bring up Andrew Broutman. 5 runs on 6 hits for the Diamond Dogs of Cheney, a run on 4 hits for the Cyclones of Colorado. Slider in there against Broutman. And it's no balls and a strike to Andrew Broutman, who is the shortstop now for Colorado. Been that way for a couple of innings. He started the game over at third base. I said earlier that they've charged him with 3 errors, but there are only 2 errors showing on the scoreboard for Colorado. So what I thought was error, he committed over at short. I guess they did not charge him with an error with after all, or it's possible there's just a error that's not been put up on the scoreboard yet. It seemed at the time as if it was a fielding error, but I don't do the official scoring. I just read what's on the board. He's behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes is Broutman. He's also had a quiet night at the plate, 0 for 3. Struck out twice and grounded into a fielder's choice. Here's the 1-2. Bounce to the right side, and that one will squirt through for a base hit. And Brotman is on with the one-out single. A seeing eye ground ball to the right side. Diving to his right was the first baseman Sims. Speck, the second baseman, dove to his left. And that one dissected the two of them, and on into right field it went. So a one-out single, and Wyatt Featherston will step in now, as Colin Horton will work from the stretch and deliver down and away to Featherston. 1 ball and no strikes. That base hit was the fifth of the game for the Colorado Cyclones. The base hit by Andrew Brotman. From the stretch, Horton, he'll deliver, and this one is right over us. Fouled back and out of play, 1-1. There's sunshine now right through the middle of the infield. As a slow bouncing ball, but it's off the foot of Featherston. Trickled off his foot up the third base line, so it's a foul ball. From behind the mound all the way over to the left towards left field, the infield is in shadows, and up the first base line there's a line of shadows. Then there's a sliver of sunshine from right at about the back of the mound over to the first base side on the infield. Once again, hitters are having the difficulty of seeing the ball start in sunshine, then cross home plate in shadows, as there's a swing and a miss by Featherston. Perhaps that was part of the reason. Tougher to pick up the spin of the ball when it's going from sunshine to shadows. Strikeout swinging, 2 away. So that'll bring up Blake Maddie. Cheney pitchers have really done a nice job tonight, by the way. Just 5 hits on the night. A really fast start for Trevin Reynolds. He struck out a bunch in a hurry. Sort of waned in the middle innings, then was taken out, but he's gotten some good help from the bullpen, including from this pitcher, Colin Horton, who's ahead in the count here to Blake Maddie. No balls and a strike, and now Horton looks over at first and steps off the rubber. Blake Maddie is the hitter. He is 2 for 2, a couple of singles. He's also walked, so he's putting together a nice evening. He waited on the slider and just pokes it foul. Oh, nice catch by a fan. That one banged off a scoreboard over on the right side in the bleachers, deflected down to the fan, who reached behind his seat and caught it in midair. Nicely done. No balls and 2 strikes. The count to Maddie. And the pitch. This one is ripped to the gap. Deep left center field and back and gone. And a 2-run homer for Blake Maddie has made things interesting now. It's 5-3. Cheney has the lead. Just off to the left of the 375 sign in left center field, as Maddie got every bit of that one, and he has made it a 2-run game, 5-3. Boy, did Colorado need some sort of spark to try to get back into this game, and that certainly helped. Now here's the first pitch on its way, and fouled back and out of play. This is Lance Kelly, who came into the game a couple of innings ago, who's got the count even now, 1 ball and 1 strike. Grounded into a fielder's choice his first time up back in the 6th inning. So this is his second at bat, and he fouls one off on the left side. He's behind in the count, 1 ball and 2 strikes. But how about Blake Maddie sending one deep to left center field and over to make it a 5-3 game. So the deficit goes from 4-2 in 1 swing of the bat. Kelly takes outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. And a slider that stays upstairs, and the count's now full at 3-2. And some activity now stirring in the bullpen for Cheney, as the Diamond Dogs have a relief pitcher up and warming up. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Swung on and Q-sticked up the third baseline. Fielded though by Glenn. He'll throw to first in time for a 5-3 putout, and the side retired. But not before Blake Matty delivers a 2-run strike, pulling Colorado a little closer. It's Cheney 5, the Colorado Cyclones 3, as we go to the bottom of the 8th at the 86th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy. Well, the Colorado Cyclones trying to keep this at a 2-run deficit as we start the bottom of the 8th inning, and they've brought in Kalen Hammer to try to keep Cheney at 5 runs. 5-3 is our score as Hammer is in, and the first pitch he offers is to Lenny Ashby, and it's down and in for a ball. 1 ball and no strikes. And this one is swung on and driven high and deep to center field, but Kalen Werner has room backing up near the track. He's there, and he's got it. And there is the first out of the inning. So 1 away for Caleb Farmer. And I beg your pardon, that was a pinch hitter, Lincoln Andrews, that came in for Cheney. But Andrews flies out to center field. So 1 away for Caleb Farmer. Farmer's a right-handed hitter. And he takes one that bends in there nicely for a strike, 0-1. Kalen Hammer pitched at New Mexico Highlands this past season. He's from Fort Collins, Colorado, though. Takes outside for a ball. 2 balls and no strikes. Fort Collins, of course, is the home of Colorado State University. Hammer is from there, but pitching at New Mexico Highlands. He started at Navarro Community College, which is in Central Texas. Actually, more like East Texas. 2 balls and a strike, the count to Farmer. And the pitch, tried to check his swing, but it appeared to be in the zone anyway. Nice job by Hammer. He's coming in throwing strikes, and it's 2-2. 5-3 Cheney. Bottom of the 8th inning. Diamond Dogs looking for some insurance. As the 2-2. In there for a strike, strike 3. Looked like it might have been outside. Farmer certainly thought so, but two quick outs for Kalen Hammer coming in off the bench. So Ed Scott will step up to the plate now. Last chance for Cheney to add to their 2-run lead. Diamond Dogs were cruising into the 7th inning, up 5-1, and into the 8th inning, but a 2-run homer for Colorado, and all of a sudden they made things interesting, and that's where we are now, 5-3, bottom of the 8th. Nobody on, 2 outs, as Ed Scott takes outside for a ball, 1-0. Pitch in there for a strike. Hammer just throwing strike after strike. Due up for the Cyclones, by the way, in the top of the 9th inning. Keegan Villalpando, then back to the top of the order with Kaylor Warner and Jake Hayes. So 9-1-2 for Colorado in the inning. Looks like it's going to get here quickly because this one is lifted towards second base. And the shortstop now, Brotman, drafts over, and he makes the catch as the wind blew it his way. A 1-2-3, though, for the Diamond Dogs in the 8th. We'll go to the 9th. Colorado needs 2 to tie, 3 to take the lead. Cheney 5, Cyclones 3 at the 86th NBC World Series, powered by Evergy. To the top of the 9th inning we go, and both teams going to the bench. Zach Bravo comes out of the bullpen for Cheney. He'll try and finish things off, and Colorado is going to bring a pinch hitter up, Gavin Gifford. And once again, we've got another player from the same school as we saw earlier, Gavin Gifford, like an earlier pitcher in the game. Kalen Hammer is from New Mexico Highlands College. Zach Bravo pitching at Lamar. Bravo to Gifford, pitch number 2, swung on and missed, and Bravo has the early edge against Gifford. Both of these players fresh off the bench, but it's no balls and 2 strikes, so advantage Bravo. Now Gifford, the big left-handed hitter, calls time, wants to readjust the batting gloves. Bravo is pinch hitting for Keegan Villalpando, the catcher. The 0-2, boy, did he take something off, and Bravo got the strikeout on 3 pitches. Down goes Gifford. And Colorado is down to their final 2 outs now, trailing by the score of 5-3 here in the top of the 9th inning. MedZone is the official hand sanitizer of the NBC World Series. MedZone supplied all teams and coaches in the World Series with a swag bag of sports medicine products. They are a proud supporter of college baseball and the NBC World Series. Go to medzone.net and learn more. MedZone sponsoring the NBC and providing these players with their important products. Here's Kaylor Warner now. First pitch, a ball, 1 ball and no strikes. And fouls this one back to the screen, and Zach Bravo has watched the count run even now. It should be 1-1. That one was fouled back to the screen. They put 2 balls and no strikes up on the scoreboard. And there's a big swing and a miss. Now they've got the count right. It's 2-1. Bravo's set and delivers. This one is a soft little floater into center field. Moving on to his left is Bartlett. He won't get there, and it gets by him, but backing it up alertly was Tyler Castillo. So it'll be a single, but that will bring the tying run to the plate now. So Warner with the 1-out single. And Hayes will step up representing the tying run. Even though Zach Bravo is pitching collegiately at Lamar, he's familiar to these parts. In 2019, he pitched collegiately at none other than Butler Community College, about 45 miles northeast of here in El Dorado, Kansas. That's where he was 2 seasons ago, just last year. First pitch to Hayes is a strike, 0-1. Bravo gets Hayes here to swing and miss. And Bravo quickly has the edge again, as he did 2 batters ago. It's 0-2. Jake Hayes has a hit tonight in 4 plate appearances. Colorado desperately needs a base hit here, down by 2 runs with 1 out in the top of the 9th inning. One hopper over to second. This could get the ball game over. Speck to second for 1. Over to first. That's the ball game. A 4-6-3. And this one is history, as Cheney is 1-0 in this 2020 NBC World Series with a game-ending 4-6-3 double play. The Diamond Dogs get it done with a couple of crooked number innings. 2 in the 3rd and 3 more in the 6th inning, while Colorado scratched across a single run in the 4th, and the Cyclones made things interesting with a 2-run homer coming up a couple of innings later in the 8th inning, but that was all she wrote, and this one is history. That is just the first loss, though, for the Colorado Cyclones, so they're still alive in this double elimination format. They will have to go to Hutchinson, though, tomorrow